refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built to win, apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today we got two separate Final Fours. Technically speaking, the CBC is only 8 teams, but it's the Final Four. And we got the NCAA Men's College Basketball National Championship Tournament, which is in the Final Four. The CBC games start early. They start in literally like 20 minutes. College basketball tournament, national basketball tournament starts around 6 o'clock. Now, before I get into those games, I just want to say picking these 4 games were tough. All 4 of them. I feel like all 4 of these games can go either way. They were tough to pick. But let's get into it. And we're going to start with the CBC, like I said, because it starts in 20 minutes. And the first game we're going to start with Oklahoma versus Baylor. Now, Oklahoma is coming to this game hot as a stove, man. Lost 1 game in March, which was to Arkansas, who won the SEC tournament. Yeah, the SEC tournament. And we got Baylor, who not necessarily is hot, but came into this game off a dominant performance against Minnesota. So shout out to them. But we're going to start with Oklahoma, who escaped Colorado. Barrington Hargreaves did not want to lose for the Colorado Buffs, had 30 points, 31, I believe, to be exact. But Oklahoma won in the overtime. They are led by Nigel Pack, who's averaging 16.6 points per game. Xavier Brown averaging 15.3 points per game and 1.3 steals. And Tay Davis averaging 12.7 points per game. Now, that X factor to me is going to be Kual Attack. Kual Attack had 16 points versus Colorado, made some big threes. And he's also shooting a 3-point shot at 42% on the season. So him shooting the ball well will bode well for Oklahoma. They need him to shoot the ball well. Now, Baylor, they are led by Cam Carr. Cam Carr is averaging 19 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 1.3 blocks. And Tunde Yesufu, who's averaging 17.9 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, and 2 steals per game. Obi Agben averaging 10.9 points per game. And to be honest, the Baylor game, it was a game of Big Three and company. Most of the points were scored by Tunde, Cam, and Obi. So my X factor, I think Dan Skillins, you can't score just 2 points this game. He only had 2 points, 4 boards against Minnesota. I think he's going to have to put on more scoring off the bench. So I think he's going to be big for Baylor in this one. I think against Oklahoma. I mean, now granted, we just saw Colorado be led by Barrington Hargreaves, who almost one man handedly almost led them to a win over Oklahoma. But I think Oklahoma was kind of rusty in the first half. Even the announcers were saying like it's been like a month, so it could be a little rust. And my winner in this one, I went with Oklahoma again. It's tough to pick this game. I ended up going with Oklahoma because I went with the hotter team. Again, they only lost 1 game in the month of March, and that was to Arkansas, who won the entire conference tournament. So Baylor, again, while very dominant against Minnesota, I don't know if they'll have that same dominance against Oklahoma, who's been scorching hot. So I kind of went with the hotter team here. Oklahoma is actually a 1.5-point dog in this matchup, so I went with the underdog as the hotter team. But again, by the 1.5-point spread, it shows that it can go either way. I just went with the hotter team here. That's really it. This game to me is going to be really close, really tough one to pick. I battled back and forth between Baylor and Oklahoma. Like I said, Hargris almost single-handedly led Colorado to a win, and Tunde and Cam is a tough duo to stop. But Oklahoma, I think, is the better team and the hotter team. So give me Oklahoma. Next, we got West Virginia, who shouldn't be here if we're being 100% honest. And this is why I disagree with the always foul up 3 rule. They are literally here because Stanford, I think it was Benny Gaylor, fouled up 3, but Honor Huff got into his shooting motion before the foul, knocked down 3 free throws, went into overtime, and beat Stanford. Creighton, on the other hand, started off really slow. Rutgers looked like defensively they was giving Creighton problems. They was creating turnovers. They were scoring. But once Rutgers got to like 26, offense came tumbling down. It was slow sailing. For most of them time, when they hit 26, most of their points was coming at the free throw line. They could not buy a basket. And Creighton can't do that against. Creighton is too prolific from the three-point line, too prolific of an offense. They got the scoring, and they kind of got ugly from there. So West Virginia shouldn't be here. Win off of Stanford. Creighton, I would say, dominant second half against Rutgers. They face each other today, 30 minutes after Oklahoma versus Baylor. West Virginia is actually 1.5-point favorites in this matchup. West Virginia is led by, as mentioned, Honor Huff. Honor Huff is averaging 16 points per game and 1 steal. Brennan Lorian averaging 11.7 points per game, 5.1 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks. And Chance Moore was averaging 10.3 points per game and 5.4 rebounds. Now, my X factor for West Virginia is a guy who had 18 points against Stanford, and that is Trayson Eaglestaff. Again, 18 points versus Stafford. He was Stafford against Stanford. Excuse me. He shot 2 for 4 from 3, which is 50%. Definitely going to have to shoot the 3 ball well against Creighton to counteract Creighton's 3-point shooting. But I think Trey Eaglestaff is going to be big for West Virginia again today. Now, Creighton, they're led by Josh Dix. Josh Dix is averaging 13.1 points per game, 3.8 rebounds. Nick Graves averaging 11.1 points per game, 4.4 assists, and 1 steal. Now, normally I would say Austin Schwartz, but Austin Schwartz did not play against Rutgers. Don't know if he's playing today. Don't know if he's just not playing for the tournament. But however, in his spot, I put Jason Green, who's averaging 10.4 points per game and 6.2 rebounds. And my X factor for Creighton is Blake Harper, who had 8 points off the bench against Rutgers. I think he's going to have to bring some scoring off the bench to counteract West Virginia scoring. 8 points is solid. 8 points is solid. If you could do better, that would also be great. But 8 points is solid off the bench in college. But that's my X factor. But my winner, I went West Virginia. I went West Virginia because it's scary when you play a team that feels like, or they knows that, hey, man, we're not supposed to be here. So at this point, ain't really much to lose. We were supposed to lose against Stanford, and that's kind of scary. 2, again, I haven't trusted Creighton down the end of Big East play, excuse me. And I don't know if Creighton's woes will come back in this tournament. Now, a nod for Creighton is this is Coach McDermott's final game or 2 games if they win. So they could be playing with that extra motivation, like let's let Coach go out as a winner. That could be scary for West Virginia. But I ultimately picked West Virginia with that resiliency bounce back win. That's kind of scary when you're facing the team right after that. So I went with West Virginia in this matchup. And I think West Virginia's offense will be kind of free-flowing. Now, to the NCAA tournament, we got the Final Four. We got 2 1 seeds taking on each other, and we got a 2 seed versus the 3 seed taking on each other. And the first game we're going to start with is the 3 seed Illinois taking on the 2 seed UConn. That game is 6:09. This on the timer. Show is. Hold on. Let me fix this. I don't know why it's on the timer. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but give me 1 second. I looked at this. I'm like, something just disappeared. Anyway, this game is 6 o'clock, 6:09 to be exact, on TBS, True TV, or HBO Max, whatever your viewing pleasure. Illinois is 1.5-point favorites in this matchup. Can't say I'm surprised. Illinois has been looking good in this tournament. I don't think does Illinois have a win. I don't know if Illinois has a win that's single digits. I can't remember. But anyway, UConn's also been looking good though. But UConn escaped Duke, and so Illinois, they are led by Keaton Wagler, averaging 17.9 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. Andre Stojakovic was averaging 13.6 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, and David Markovic averaging 13.5 points per game, 8.1 rebounds per game. And I should say Stojakovic is averaging that off the bench. The X factor to me is Tomislav Isevic. He's going to have a tough day guarding Terrence Reed Jr. He's got us out of foul trouble. I believe he fouled out of Illinois' last game against Iowa. He's going to have a tough task with Terrence Reed Jr. Now, UConn, they're led by Solo Ball, averaging 12.9 points per game. Alex Caravan averaging 13.2 points per game and 5.2 rebounds. And Terrence Reed Jr. averaging 14.7 points per game, 8.8 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks. My X factor for UConn is going to stay the same. It's going to be Braylon Mullen. He was my X factor for Duke, and he's the one that hit the crazy shot to win it. And I'm sticking with Braylon Mullen. Braylon Mullen's on the tournament in 4 games is averaging 13. Excuse me, I'm reading the wrong stats. Averaging 11.8 points per game in the tournament, which is big. 12 points off the 12 points added on to what you're getting from Reed, possibly Caravan, because Caravan did not shoot it well against Duke, but he made a big deep three late in the ball game against Duke and Solo Ball. So if he can continue to add on about that amount of points per game, that'd be really big for UConn. My winner, I went with the same logic, with a little bit added more detail, but I went with UConn. Again, UConn is a team that feels like they know, hey, we shouldn't be here. Like, I know it's kind of crazy to say, like, people believe that they shouldn't be here, but like, just look at the way these two teams have won. West Virginia won off of a basically a heave foul at the like almost at half court, and UConn won off of a trap, which Kaden Booth threw the ball away. Technically, I get it. He was trying to make the advance pass to 2 open people, but a trap still half court shot, pretty much. So those are just crazy circumstances to win a ball game. So again, it's tough to play a team after that because they feel like they have nothing to lose. Then you add on the fact that Dan Hurley's been in the Final Four 3 out of the last 4 years, and both of the years beyond this one, because this year's not over, he won the national championship, while Illinois, they haven't been to the Final Four since 2005. And it'd be different if UConn didn't have some of the players on the team, but Caravan was on that team. So they have some guys with some experience. I mean, I think Caravan is literally the only guy with that experience, because I don't think Solo Ball was on that team, but they have experience. Him and Caravan, Hurley is him who I'm talking about, by the way. Hurley and Caravan has that experience in this moment. Nobody on Illinois, I believe, nobody on Illinois has this experience. I don't think anybody on Illinois' roster has been to the Final Four. So, and Brad Underwood, I don't think Brad's been either. But again, they haven't been since 2005. So give me the team with the experience. Give me the team who has nothing, or should feel like has nothing to lose, and that's UConn. Now, the last game I have for y'all is Michigan. 1 seed Michigan taking on 1 seed Arizona. This game is 8:49 on TBS True TV or HBO Max. Again, whatever your viewing pleasure is. And Michigan is actually 1.5 point favorites in this matchup. Now, Michigan is led by Yaxel Lundeberg. They come into this game dominating Tennessee. Yaxel was averaging 15.2 points per game, 7 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and 1.3 blocks. Elliot Cadeau averaging 10.2 points per game, 5.8 assists. And Ade Mara averaging 11.8 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, and 2.6 blocks per game. Now, their X factor to me is going to be Morez Johnson, dealing with the size of Arizona. He's averaging 13.8 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, and 1 block in the tournament. So those are his numbers just for the tournament alone. So he's doing a great job actually helping Michigan with these wins. He's going to be key, especially if somebody like a Damar goes into foul trouble, which we've seen a couple times. Morris Johnson is going to have to step up in that role. Now, Arizona, they are led by Braden Burries, averaging 16.1 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. Koa Pete, 14.1 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and Jaden Bradley averaging 13.3 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 1.4 steals per game. Now, that X factor to me is going to be Monty Yunus Krivas, and dealing with Ade Mara. Ade Mara is 7'4". So he's going to have his hands tied dealing with him, keeping him off the glass. possibly scoring on him, maybe even trying to take attention from him roaming the paint, because that's what a Damar does. He really just roams the paint. Shout out my brother. He said, which team is bigger? I would actually say Michigan. If I would have to take a team, I would believe Michigan. I'm still shocked that Michigan is not the tallest team in the country. It's actually Illinois. But I would say Michigan has the height advantage over Arizona. But yeah, I think Manu Trivas is going to have a really good day or a really productive day against the Damar. But my winner, I went with Michigan, and kind of the same logic. So nobody on Michigan that plays has Final Four experience, right? Maurice Johnson doesn't. Damar doesn't. Damar I think is a junior. And yeah, that was the last UCLA team that went to the Final Four was 2021. So yeah, he doesn't. Elliot Cadeau doesn't. Yaxu Lundeberg, this was his first NCAA tournament, I believe. So they don't have, the players don't. However, Dusty May has Final Four experience. He went to the Final Four 3 years ago with FAU, where they lost to San Diego State in the not national championship game, the first Final Four round. So I guess that's the Final Four. We'll just say the Final Four. It wasn't a national championship game. But he has the Final Four experience. Arizona, they haven't been to the Final Four since 2001. Nobody on Arizona has the Final Four experience. Tommy Lloyd wasn't the coach. So nobody on Arizona has the Final Four experience. So Michigan has experience. Michigan has flat out dominant. So has Arizona, but Michigan has been dominant all year. Again, so has Arizona. But I mean, Michigan has been like 40-point wins, 30-point wins, stuff like that, dominant. And I just think Michigan's a tough team to stop right now. So I'm taking Michigan. I'm taking the coaching experience. And I just hope, again, I'm scorned by Arizona teams I've watched in the past. Now, granted, this is the furthest team I've watched Arizona go. Now, again, I said that I watched because that 0-1 team lost in the national championship to Duke. That I watched. I did not watch that 0-1 Arizona team. So this is the furthest of Arizona team I watched, but I'm still a little scorned, so I'm taking Michigan in this one, unfortunately, to win this ball game. Now, with that being said, that's all the games we have for y'all today. The CBC starts in literally less than 5 minutes. So enjoy the CBC as you wait for the NCAA Final Four games to start. That's all I got for y'all today. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC. Speaking of the network, we are a network and we have multiple shows. We have shows like the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave every Monday and Thursday from 7 to about 8:30. Again, you can catch me on there too. I was on there Thursday. Definitely had fun. It's funny, we had a Rookie of the Year debate, and then both Khan and Cooper Flag do some crazy stuff right after the debate. But make sure you check that out. We have Unfazed featuring Joe and AJ, who went live on Tuesday. Mixture of NBA and NFL topics, so make sure you check that out. We got BWT, Baseball with Teddy. If you watched the main show Thursday, you see me crash out on the Tigers. The Tigers then went on to win 4-0 yesterday. So if I got to crash out on y'all for y'all to get me some dubs, for y'all to get some runs, even though it was only 2 innings where y'all scored. But, I mean, we pitched a shutout. So shout out to that. But if I got to crash out on y'all to perform, I do it every time. So shout out to them for that win. Actually, Jack Flaherty should be going right now against the Cardinals, against Dustin May. The game should have already threw the first pitch. And I'm not in Detroit, so I don't know if it's like a weather delay. Nope. They're going right now. Kevin McGonigal's at the plate. We are at the bottom of the first. Cole Keefe's on first. Jack Flaherty threw 25 pitches in the first inning, but 2 strikeouts. Didn't allow a run. So shout out to the Tigers. The game just started, though. A lot of game left. Justin Verlander, speaking of BWT, Justin Verlander with a hip injury has been scratched for Sunday Night Baseball tomorrow. So I don't even know who we're throwing on the mound tomorrow. Probably just throwing out a relief pitcher. But yeah, make sure you check out Teddy for that. We got FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Fantasy football season is obviously over. Football season isn't, however. UFL last night. DC Defenders blew out the Columbus Aviators badly, might I add. Had some crazy plays in that one, not in a good way. But make sure you check out FFC for any content he drops. The draft is in less than 3 weeks. It's actually, 20 days away? No, 19 days away. Today is Saturday. But it's 19 days away, so Oh, be on the lookout. Speaking of the draft, dang, Kevin McGonigal struck out in 3 pitches. Speaking of the draft, we will on this platform have a mock draft for the first round featuring my guys Kev and my guy AJ, part of Unfazed, AJ's Bird, stuff like that. The date is TBD, but it's before the draft. And then we will have a draft show covering the first round of the draft that draft day, so that Thursday. So it's our 3rd annual mock draft for the first round. It's our 4th annual draft coverage show. So make sure you check that out. Next, we have excuse me. I already talked about that one. RBO, Real Ballers Only. NBA show featuring Vaughn. Pistons play the Sixers tonight. If the Pistons win tonight, I believe we clinched the number 1 overall seed with a win tonight. So Pistons definitely got to get it done. Hey, Sixers, go ahead, sit out Joel Embiid for me, please. Y'all don't want to play him in the back-to-back. But make sure you check out Vaughn for that. Next, we have Dave's Doghouse. Highlights and lowlights of sport. Hey, man, I was about to say throw the Tigers in the doghouse, but make sure you check him out. We got In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo, who went live last Sunday. Boxing show for all your boxing needs. Check out In the Red Corner. They don't go live on every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sundays around 6:30. We have AJ's Birds talking about his Eagles, and we have Zero Sports Talk with Griffey, who should be dropping an episode today if he had not dropped one already, talking some soccer. So make sure you check out all the shows and like, comment, share, subscribe to those as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. But with that being said, I'm about to go catch the CBC and the Final Four. I'll highlight y'all tomorrow because the CBC Championship tomorrow and the NIT Championship is tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow to cover those games. But I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.